If you think that every woman who chooses to stay single does it because she went through a heartbreaking divorce after years of marriage, well, you're wrong. Let me tell you that my story was far from being a fairy tale before I could even start dreaming about true love's kiss, and that my choice isn't about what I've been through as a woman, but as a kid. Hi, I'm Maileen, I'm 37, I'm French, and I have lived by myself forever. Welcome to my channel. I will share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly of my life choices, but mostly the good ones because I do love living by myself. I never grew up dreaming about getting married, and I know that for many women, it is a goal in their life. Unfortunately for me, growing up, I never had the example of a functioning couple, whether they were married or not. I grew up as an only child with my single mom for 10 to 15 years. I have seen my parents arguing over and over because of me. I have also seen them being in relationships that they didn't really want to, just because they didn't want to be alone anymore. I see them getting married, starting a new family, and still not be happy. And also getting divorced. But you might think that they were not the only couples in my family that I knew. Well, let me tell you that if I have to analyze every couple in my family, I could give you 1,000 reasons why I never believed in marriage. Yes, I do have a very messy family, and we haven't started scratching the surface yet with my therapist. So from here, I only had 2 options, which were also the 2 options that I had concerning motherhood. But we'll talk about that later. Finding the perfect husband and be happy in a marriage. Not like my parents. Or I could believe that my own happiness would not come from it and I would not chase it. So I did not chase it. Also because obviously I've seen my parents getting married and also getting divorced. I've seen the bad and the ugly in the marriage. I'm still looking for the good just in case you know where it went. So I was too young, 20 months old, when my parents decided to split up. Or rather, when my mom stopped my father from coming back after he abandoned us to live in the US. So I wouldn't be able to say what was really between them, but I can tell you that I've seen them being in relationships for the wrong reason, and that left some scars. Wanting to get married is one thing, and wanting to be in a relationship without getting married is another. Now, let's put marriage on the side and talk about love for a few minutes. I will not lecture you about it when even myself, I don't even know how I'm supposed to love someone else. But let me explain. I did not grow up in a family where love was in the center of it. Relationships existed mostly because of obligation. And I've seen how emotional dependency could lead to physical and sexual abuse. I've seen how maintaining a role would lead to manipulate your progeny into living a lie only to make one proud. I've seen how children were born just to check a box or fill a void and not by pure love of giving life to an innocent being who never asked to be born and would only ask to be loved. Yes, that's the family I grew up in. I told you it was messy. As you can clearly see by my face, I'm a child of immigration. I was born and raised in France, but my father was not. My mother was, though. And this is how I grew up between 2 cultures. Even though in French culture, marriage is something that everyone expects you to go through, the weight is not the same in the Asian side of my family. Before I move on explaining why, I really want to make something clear. My family is Hmong, and the Hmong culture and traditions do not represent every Asian culture. So please don't assume that it is the same for all Asians or every Hmong family either. So in my family's culture, yes, I do say my family's culture because I grew up with my mom. So with the French culture, not in the Hmong culture. So marriage is very important in one's life, especially women. So just to be clear, the way I witnessed the Hmong culture is from my French girl point of view. So for me, the Hmong culture was patriarchal and very misogynist. As a young girl, you were meant to obey the men of your family, to take care of your siblings the way a mother would, to learn how to cook, to clean, to serve for the men of the family. And obviously, as a woman, you would obey your husband, bear children, take care of them with the help of your eldest daughters, clean, cook, serve your husband, and the men of his family. Because once you get married, you're not a member of your own family, your parents' family. You are the member of your husband's family. So you would need your husband, the man of his family, and especially the elders of the clan's approval to divorce your husband and leave his family to go back to your parents' family. Fortunately, as far as I know, my cousins did not carry on these old traditions when being in relationships or marrying. So as you can see, what I've seen and experienced during my childhood and teenage years, from the very few times I was visiting my father, I did not really have the example of marriage for love. Luckily for me, though, I did not live like that, and so not all the women in my family. On the contrary, whether they are my aunts or cousins, they managed to live with the best of both worlds, if I can say so. And even though it was very hard for me to understand as a teenager, and was still actually living far from them, I'm grateful to have these women in my life to guide me, even if there's an ocean between us or back in Laos. Okay, so this is more linked to my choice of not having children, and we'll talk about that in another video. But there's also connection with my choice of not pursuing marriage. I am the oldest of my siblings and an original one, which means that my parents, after having me, did not have any other children together. Then they split up. So all my siblings are half sisters and half brothers. By the time my parents started a new life with a new wife for my father and a new husband for my mother, and for them to have children again, I was a teen. Well, I was barely a teen when my sister was born, the first one, because I was 11-year-old. Very quickly, I was asked to take care of my siblings on one side, which I was very happy to do, and stepped in to take care of my siblings on the other side. I can say that I spent my teenage years between trying to go through these very messy years and be a substitute parent while going to school. You might think that it was only at the beginning, and once that my siblings were slightly bigger, I was off leaving their parents the responsibility to finally take care of them, or at least two of them. But no, I did have to move for my studies at some point. But the older we were getting, the more I had to step in. I was young, not mentally ready to take care of children, be there when their parents were not, to defend them when they needed to. Well, that was not my role. So for years, even from far away, I was still trying to save them, putting my own personal life on the side, because this situation was too heavy to carry and there was no place for anyone else, not even myself. So how could I have a boyfriend and be in a relationship when you're the rock that everyone hold on to? There was no place. Now, hopefully you understand why my choice of being single is not the consequence of a man. Well, in a way, it's because of men. But I'll be getting a bit too deep into my family's past. Let's say it's not the way you imagine it. I am not saying that I've closed my heart to relationship. I just want to take time to heal from what I've been through for the past 37 years. I don't know if you've seen the Peter Pan movie, the one from 2003, not the Hook movie with Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, and Jerry Roberts. Not this one. If you know what I mean, at the very beginning, I think it was at the very beginning, if I remember well, it's when Mrs. Darling is putting her children to bed before going out with Mr. Darling. And during the conversation, one of the children say that Mr. Darling wasn't a brave man or something like that. And then Mrs. Darling replied, I'm going to read that to you because I do not know it by heart. So Mrs. Darling said, there are many different kinds of bravery. There's the bravery of thinking of others before oneself. Now, your father has never brandished a sword, nor fired a pistol, thank heavens. But he has made many sacrifices for his family and put away many dreams. Then the young Michael said, where did he put them? And Mrs. Darling replied, he put them in a drawer, and sometimes, late at night, we take them out and admire them. But it gets harder and harder to close the drawer. It does. And that is why he's so brave. I remember this scene because I felt the same for so many years. Not that I felt brave for putting my dreams away, because I put others before myself, but because I had to put my dreams and happiness in a drawer and put others before myself when it was not my responsibility. So now it's time to open this drawer and heal from the past to achieve my dreams and see what life has to offer, with a man in my life or not. Thank you for watching this video. I would really love hearing your story. If you're willing to share it, I want to wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.